Well, so I was working on board the vessels, and back then I was working for a company called Poseidon Limited, which was supplying, crew and staff for Premier Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean. So after Premier, I moved on to Royal Caribbean, which I worked for several number of years, and when the company only had 4 vessels. And after that, I went to Crystal Cruises, where I worked, primarily on board the vessels and then also in the office. And then I moved on to the shore side part in the office in LA, and then I was director of operations for large international operators, and eventually I started my own firm. So what the industry actually allowed me, plus my own mindset, was an opportunity to look at things from 360 degrees, and keep evolving. And for me, I believe this industry allows you to evolve. If you have the right mindset, the opportunities are immense. And that's what the industry has provided me the most, the opportunity for me to fulfill my dreams with my own set of ideas and plans.
I love that because, I do a few of these sort of trade shows, and I could easily say that so many of them are very much stuck in their ways. You have a lot of older guys that are like, I want to keep it exactly how it is.
Right.
I don't want to change it. The young people will come in and try and change it, but they can't because the establishment won't let them.
Right.
And whereas cruise is like nearly completely the opposite. It's like everyone that comes in here always builds on the ideas, and everyone is like, what can we do better? What can we do more?
Yeah.
And obviously, is that what your company does? Is that how you see? Is that what happens at this event? Is that what you see happening here?
Well, exactly. And you had a very valid point out there. So for what we do, so I started working from scratch, and I built up, and got promoted and pretty much improved, learned, and so forth. I worked with some of the older captains. They taught me, itinerary planning, from an emotional perspective. And then as the business grew, I understood itinerary planning, from a more an analytical perspective. So we tend to put all this knowledge and expertise into practice, right? So when you're developing ports and destinations, it has to be from a practical perspective. So while you deal with regulations, with politics, and with actually issues, congestions, whatever, things at the end of the day still need to make sense for the passenger. Well, the experience that stands out for me was meeting a tour operator that I haven't seen for 15 years, right? And he's from Egypt. And this guy told me, Luis, I haven't seen you for such a long time, but I never forgot you. I had the same experience actually in Chile, Wow, Luis, because I was doing global port coordination for Crystal. And so, of course, as a 6-star company, you have a lot of demands and so forth. So it was my job to somehow make sure that, the expectations of the passengers were properly met. So these guys, they still remember me and say, wow, Luis, we'll never forget, you're very tough, but you taught us so much. So having that experience of someone remembering you for something that you contributed, to make, their jobs, their businesses better, that was quite an honor, man. I was really touched and emotional about it. My own opinion and the way I run myself, not as a profession but as a personal thing, I believe that we all have a responsibility, to contribute to our industry, being no matter what industry you are. Okay, so in that sense, I see that the knowledge and expertise that I acquire over the years, and plus just the way we plan our process and everything allows us an advantage when it comes to actually helping to drive the industry forward into the future, with sustainable growth. So my contribution, or in the sense of what I do, and our contribution as a company, will always be to improve things. So we see us coming to these events as an opportunity, of course, to meet a lot of our clients, to get new projects, but mostly so actually to share ideas, to share new thoughts, new cruise regions, new information that might be relevant for us, to use in another, developing another region. You see what I mean? Yes, it's good to see the network, but you have to do something with your network. You got to share ideas, share opinions, share experiences. You see what I mean? So that then suddenly you're not only, sort of waiting for the event to provide something for you, but you're already contributing something to the event to make the event even much better. My favorite thing about the cruise industry that it allows me the opportunity, to make, better ports and better destinations and a better future, in terms of tourism, in terms of how my son will experience some of these destinations when he starts cruising, how my family, how my friends, and how the next generation will actually experience the world, either by cruise or actually just by being a tourist. So I see that, there's a higher purpose here, and I intend to, to offer my contribution to it.